Matt and I are out for a walk, and I wanted to talk to you today and thought we would just do a walk and talk so I could fit filming in today. So it's about to snow in New York, so we have a couple hours, and so that's why we're out here. Today's topic, wanted to speak about harsh truths. And so there are some YouTube channels that people gravitate to because, let's just face it, right now, the cost of living is really high. So there are channels like Living on Dime and stuff like that that exist. And it came into my algorithm, and sometimes if a video comes into my algorithm, I will look at it. And I was kind of a little bit taken aback because sometimes, not that what they share isn't truthful, it's just, I think there's a way to talk to people that is respectful and kind, and you just don't have to be nasty. And yes, it may be a knee-jerk reaction for people when they're getting comments that someone's not enjoying their channel as much, or they're not finding value in it. And I can understand where that may come from, to be a little bit harsh. But to put out a video where you actually say to someone, some people just want to be miserable, and you are one of them. That's the reaction. That's kind of really harsh. And it's condescending, the tone. And so I wanted to talk about that because in reality is sometimes channels that are focused on things like personal finance are giving people ideas and advice on what to do. And a lot of people will go to those channels not necessarily because they're looking to make a change. Sometimes they're there because they want to absorb as much information as possible. And or they're just for validation of things that they are doing or could be doing better, and they just want to hear different ideas. So that's why they gravitate to those kind of channels. But to make some of the necessary changes or the changes that people recommend, you're not going to get that. That's kind of sometimes ridiculous. When someone says, sell your home, give away your pets. Like, really? Like, those are kind of ridiculous things to tell people, in my opinion. Now, downsizing, when you're heading into retirement, sure. But a lot of people will listen to these channels because they want ideas. They don't want to be spoken down to, mistreated. And in this one case, this viewer was following a lot of the advice given, but they weren't earning a lot of money. And sometimes people are just not ready to make a change. And that could be you. So if you're coming to a channel to gather information, just to hear things, I really find that when people do make changes, then they'll see the whole entire big picture, say, wow, things that they might have missed. So you could actually see it in a person who's making financial changes, and other people will resist. So there's a resistance to it. And so they'll fight back. And it may come across that they're making excuses. I have fibromyalgia. I have, I'm trying to think of what else they said. Lyme disease or other things that they have that they are not able to work. But they have kids and they're just trying to get by. And they may be legitimate excuses or what are seen as excuses. They're just like life circumstances that happen to people. But no one should be berated because they're earning an income. Sure, you can make more money than minimum wage. Here, let's turn it this way. You can make a lot more money than minimum wage. That is the truth. But there is something respectful and honorable about people earning money, and no one should be talked down to because they're not making as much as you think they should be. I know a lot of people who earn nothing and sit around and are doing nothing. And sometimes you want to shake them and tell them, do more, you could be more. I could do all I can to try to motivate, and changes don't happen. They're not ready. They're just not ready. And so, if you're coming to these channels, absorb as much information as you can. There will come a point in time where you will be ready. Well, you'll start to make changes. Well, you'll want to focus on making more money. And even if you don't and you stay where you're at, because certain things, let's just be honest, it's hard to make career changes when life itself is hard. Like, for instance, in this case where this person was dealing with a lot of health issues, and they needed their husband at home, so their husband could only earn $26,000 a year. Being told, go create a YouTube channel, you can make $26,000 by making a YouTube channel. That's bogus. The amount of people that actually make good money on YouTube is really low. So to have somebody who's made their money on YouTube tell you to go make money on YouTube, when there's millions of people with millions of channels that are making nothing, that it's more like a hobby. And even if, let's say, someone like myself, I'm posting pretty regularly, I'm not going to make a dime on YouTube. The algorithm is set in a way where people like to see authenticity right now. And so maybe that's why these channels blow up, because they're sharing harsh truth in a way that they're kicking other people while they're down. It's not cool. In my opinion, the videos should be taken down. When I'm giving advice, or let's say I am sharing harsh truths, your choices are making you broke. They're not at anyone specific. They're at Americans in general who are living paycheck to paycheck and are not, it's like a wake-up call in kind of a way, are not spending money on investments or spending money on savings. It's geared towards individuals who could do better. But it isn't at someone who's honestly really working and just trying to get back, just live life when life is hitting them really hard. They're not in a situation where they can make all the moves. And sometimes it's okay to coast. When you're ready, you're ready. And in this case of this couple, yelling at them that they need to go make more money and that they shouldn't be having kids, really, that's not advice. That's just some YouTuber being annoyed that someone doesn't like their channel as much anymore or not finding value in it. And sure, while there are some truths to the fact that somebody can go out and earn more money, that maybe someone is spewing their life problems on everyone else. Yeah, but if they weren't pushed, maybe they wouldn't be sharing or oversharing their life circumstances. So the harsh truth and all that they could have said instead is you're not ready. They're not ready. When they're ready to make financial changes, they will. But right now, they're just getting by and they're going to your channel for ideas. They're going to your channel to see what other things could I be doing better that are within my control and doesn't need me to make life changes right now. So to anyone who feels like they're behind, when you're ready, you'll know. Absorb as much information, reflect on some things you could do, and do the small changes. And little over time, as you think back on it and you're adopting changes that you continue to make, you'll become more ready to make some of the bigger changes. The life moves where you're making more money. But these people who are doing the best they can, trying to survive, cutting down their costs, that's the step they're at. Let them. Anyway, just my thoughts on personal finances. You don't have to do everything at once. You don't have to, because somebody gives you advice, if you're not taking it, be attacked for the fact that, wow, it's your fault. You're working a minimum wage job. It's your fault. Yeah, we accept positions because sometimes that's all we have. But if people are on your channel to get ideas of how to live on a dime, your knee-jerk reaction shouldn't be hit them with their down. Some people just want to be miserable, and you are one of them. That's not advice. That's nasty. As another YouTuber would say, why you have to be so salty? Anyway, I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Ciao.